am I really accepting of myself? Am I really accepting of the people I'm talking to? Or do I have an agenda that I want you to do this because this is the way I think it should be? And I've seen that particularly with my children. You know, the mother has to make it right. The mother has to make sure they're safe and happy. You know, impossible job. So what I've come to over the years is to see that all the things that I thought were my job are not my job. And all the things that I didn't know were my job are my job. And my real job is so much easier than the one that I originally took on. I would get very urgent and anxious if my kids were in what I perceived as a problem. I wanted them to be happy. I thought this was my job to make sure that they were happy. I didn't believe or had not experienced in my life that things happened if I didn't make them happen. Now I know now, obviously this was happening all the time, but my own experience was it's not going to happen if I don't make it happen. And I had a wonderful demonstration of this with my mom when she was in the hospital and in the emergency room, and she needed a bedpan. And I kind of panicked. Well, will I be able to get one for her? And of course I did. So that came back and we were talking, and then while we're waiting for the doctor, she's talking to me about her feelings about the Middle East. And all of a sudden I thought, I've got to fix the Middle East. I can't do it. And this just growing awareness that I thought it was all up to me to make it better, to make it right, to whatever. And that has really, I can't say it's totally gone. I mean, sometimes if I get a call from an anxious child, I can feel the urge to go there and then pull back. But what I do now is, sometime in this year, I kind of got at another level, that love is all that's real. So if a kid calls me and says, Mom, and I start to panic or feel urgent, I think, is that love? No. And then I'll pull back and I'll say, what's happening? And I can just stand there and be there, loving this person, and everything's okay. It doesn't matter what the big problem was. Everything is really okay. A huge change. I mean, 180, more than 180. But it's very freeing. You know, I think I took responsibility in my family that I wasn't aware that I was taking. My father was an academic, and we were always expected to, you know, do certain things, achieve certain things in one thing or another. But I think where I didn't realize what was happening was that I took the emotional responsibility for my parents, my family, without any tools to do that. So I constantly felt not up to the, quote, task that I didn't even know I was taking on, but I was taking on. And then I think as I grew older, I became conscious that I was doing that. The idealized self-image is that which you think you're supposed to be and how you try and project yourself to the world. And it covers who you really are, and if you were me, you had no idea who that was. And you're operating out of about this much or less of a self that is so vast, and you're trying to manage all of life with this teeny little part of you that's not even you. That's terrifying. And that's one of the things that Pathwork has done for me. I lived in terror a lot of my life, and I don't live in terror anymore. And it's just incredible. I see myself as much more joyful. I was someone who probably first went to Pathwork in order to find a way to stay on the planet. And I find myself much more joyful. All the parts of myself that I would hide in the past, I love. They come up now, and I'm so amused by them, the way I would be if I was, you know, a wise parent and the kid did something, whatever. I know that kid is safe. I got my eye on that kid. That kid is not going to get in trouble. And boy, are they funny. I mean, you can kind of laugh at the antics that they're pulling. And I was saying earlier today, there is, for me, my image of it now is, there's an essence, like an energy that comes from my essence that goes out and surrounds and holds all of me. so that the parts that are still in distortion, the parts that are going to act out, the parts that get frightened, I know they're safe. I can feel them within this great big energetic current that comes from within the parts of me that are already, what's the word I'm looking for? My essence, the parts of me that are back in goodness. To be your idealized self-image, and it's a pretense. You are pretending in every minute, and the energy it takes to maintain that basically takes all the energy you have. So there's not much energy left for self-love, love of others, introspection, meditation. I guess I did. I would meditate to try and balance that and bring energy back. And now I meditate for joy.